Hi, everybody. It's the Me and My Boyfriend Nicole podcast. I'm Aurora.
And I'm the boyfriend, Nicole.
Yeah, we're coming to you live from Aurora's bedroom.
What? In bed, just like always.
Always. Wee.
So soft and luscious.
Cuddly.
On the velvet, golden comforter.
Yes.
Woo.
Hot.
Feeling something.
I feel like this is a very intimate look into my bedroom.
All right. Squeezing this in the morning before I got to go to work. Ooh.
Both Nicole and I worked like basically this whole week, and we were like, podcast?
Right? Oh, and I was just thinking squeezing something in before work. I'm like in the bedroom. Oh, can't wait till I have those moments again.
Girl.
It's been so long.
Girl.
Everybody knows. 8 months and counting.
We don't want to talk about me.
I don't talk what you've been up to. No? Okay. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we got a couple options. I was thinking we talk about, like, what makes you stay in something? Like, what's the deciding factor? Like, all right, we're in it.
Right? And I think that's a measure of where you're at in your life and growth, too, because what you might have stayed in 10 years ago, 10 months ago, 10 days ago
is different.
Is different today. What you would put up with, before and what you put up with now can be totally different. And you might not even realize it till you're in the situation, whether it's a job, a romantic relationship, a friendship, a family, whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy how all of a sudden a new boundary pops up and you didn't even realize it.
And then you don't realize it until you're like in it and you're like, oh no, I will never do this again.
Right? So there was some moments this week, but there was a moment last night.
Oh, yeah.
Where we were talking, and I was talking about someone that I had been talking to prior, and how you got so quiet.
Oh, I was just listening. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm like, you're not normally so quiet.
No, I'm just genuinely listening to you.
And I was just like, it was just a no for me. It's just a no. And I'm like, it wasn't that they were a bad person or anything like that. It was just, it's a no for me. And I'm like, it takes a certain type of person that would put up with it. And immediately it hit me. Yes, big smile on your face.
Yeah, I know. Because I remember when you had this revelation.
Oh, my gosh. And I was like, I used to be that person.
That would have put up with it.
That would have put up with it. That would have asked for more. And the whole thing is the reason that I wasn't interested was because it was always about him.
Yeah.
It was always about him. It was about his, feelings, his emotions, which there's no problem with that, but it was never about me.
Right. There was no sharing.
No.
It wasn't like you supported each other. It was always about what he was going through. He was sick. He was tired. This happened at his job. And
yeah. Right? Or he's horny or whatever. Which, in context, we had one date.
Right.
Okay? And on said date, 2 women FaceTimed him that were interested in him, and he appeared interested in them. And I'm like, and he took the call, which I was like, go ahead. This is the first date. This is letting me know where you're at.
That would have been a red flag for me, and I probably wouldn't have entertained him anymore. You're much nicer than I am.
Well, and he's a very nice guy, very sweet, very kind. I'm like, but we in different places in our life.
Yeah.
And so we talked after that. And I'm just like, we had set dates and things would come up and I didn't go. And I was just like,
I think subconsciously you just like weren't really into it.
It was like he self-sabotaged every single time because every single time we were supposed to go out, he would do something which I had told him was a boundary for me and just overstep it, and I'm just like, no, and it was just, and then he was like, I don't think we should talk anymore. And I'm like, okay, thanks,
bye.
Right? And then it was a whole text message after that. And I did kind of feel bad because I don't ever want to hurt anybody.
Right.
Ever. But the other side of it was, you haven't shown me anything. Like, you haven't given me anything. And I don't want to waste your time or my time.
Right.
And I am looking for my person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know my person is out there. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Like, there's so many wonderful things about him. Like, he's a good man, but we're just not at the same place.
Right.
You know? And he, I would say, is going through a selfish phase,
mm-hmm.
which everyone has a right to go through that. We know I went through one. Okay? And you need to take time for yourself. You need to figure out what you want. You need to, in every aspect of your life, not just in relationships, you know? I'm like, and he's gone through a lot of changes in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put all his business out there, but I'm just saying, like, I totally understand. I respect that.
He's recalibrating.
Yes.
And you have already
right?
calibrated.
Well, and after a long-term relationship, all that kind of stuff, you know, and a move and things like that.
I almost feel like he was you, like, what,
2 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah. And
yes.
Which,
right?
You know,
and I'm like, major props. I would love to stay friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would. But just friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I think he's an amazing person. He wants to do a podcast as well.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. And I just wish him all the best. But I'm like, and it's none of my business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you should be in a relationship with anyone right now. Have fun, do whatever you want, you know?
Yeah.
I understand that you meet someone and you see their worth. That would be me. And you're like, yes, I want that. But, you know, but you're not ready for that yet,
right.
or whatever. But I'm like, it's a no for me, sir. Yeah. I so want to explain it, but I'm like,
it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah, pushing boundaries, like, no.
No.
Like, everyone that listens knows that I am in a phase of my life where I'm very into my feminine energy.
Uh-huh.
I'm a woman. I'm a girl. I am the prize. Everything else. But where I'm like, I don't want to share myself with just anybody.
Right.
Which I think I've always been like that. I know I have. But, like, I'm real protective over myself and my sexuality right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, don't get me wrong. I ain't a prude in any way.
No,
if
you
you
not.
listen, you know. I enjoy me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's something that I feel like needs to be earned.
Yeah.
You know? And vice versa. Whoever I'm with, I need to earn that intimacy with them. It's
right.
not just me. But I'm like, I'm looking for something special.
So what is that? I guess let's get back to the topic at hand of like, so what is it that makes you stay and what is it that makes you go? Is it a boundary thing? Like, is it things that keep pushing up into your boundary and you're like, oh no, like this is a no for me? Or
so
is it a certain thing that you get from the situation? Like,
it's everything. Mm-hmm. So for me, it all comes down to, does it feel good or does it not feel good? Mm-hmm. You know? And that did not feel good. That did not line up with where I'm at in my life. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel respected. I didn't feel cared for. I didn't feel acknowledged. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like he even knew me, you know? And so I was like, it's just a no for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't feel bad about that. Mm-hmm. I just felt bad because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
You know?
Right. And clearly his feelings were hurt.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
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 But we'll work through it. But anyway, and by work through it, I mean, you know, I hope we can remain friends, you know, because he is a good person. But like I said, I'm like, it's no.
Yeah.
But then we talk about jobs too, right?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, do you ask yourself those questions? I think those are great questions. Do I feel acknowledged? Do I feel, like, I can't remember what you said, Lord. Yeah. It's like almost 8:30 in the morning.
Cared for,
thank you.
Right? And that's true in a job, too. Mm-hmm. Do they respect you?
Respect,
Respect my time, my energy, what I bring, you know? And that is how I go about jobs.
Yeah.
Because our family motto is, you don't quit one little shitty job till you get another little shitty job. I don't know that we should use that term, you know, but that's how we say it.
That is also my family motto. It's like, we don't get out of shit unless we got shit to get back into.
Right,
like.
Right. But For me, that is very important. Very important. I'm like, everyone needs to make money, and everyone has a certain amount of money they need to make. Which, that's another thing that I want to talk about too.
Oh, yeah.
Was there's no cap on your happiness. There's no cap on your financial
stability.
No.
Yeah.
And what you can make. Because I always have discredited myself. And I think as a woman, we all do this a lot of times. And I've talked about this before where I had a conversation when I worked at the railroad with a fellow employee there. And we were talking about equal pay. And I was talking about why I like to work at unions. And I was a freight car mechanic. And I'm like, because we all get paid the same no matter what, you know? And he said, he had a daughter, right? And he said, I've had this conversation with her when she was 13 at the time. And he said, it's knowing your worth. And to me, that was a concept I had never even thought about back then.
Right.
And this was like, oh my gosh, like 14 years ago. And so it was, he said that men know their worth, right? And they go into a job, right? And they say, I know I'm only worth 50,000, but I'm going to ask for 75 and let them talk me down, hopefully to 60, you know, but at 50 is my bottom line, right? He said, women do it totally opposite. Women know that they're worth 75, but they'll ask for 35 or take whatever's offered to them. And then they're going to prove themselves in the job and then get a raise. And I was like, I totally do that. And he's like, you're undercutting yourself. You need to think like a man and go in asking for more and let them come down. And I was like, that never occurred to me. I thought that was rude.
Right.
Like what? And I'm like, and those are social things we have been taught, you know? I just thought that was the most amazing thing ever. And so that changed a lot of the way I think. But I still was doing that to myself, you know?
Yeah.
Taking like the least and not even asking for it. Not even searching for more. Like just thinking I'm not qualified for that. Even though I met all the qualifications, like, oh, they wouldn't give me that, you know?
Right.
And so I went looking for a job this time after COVID. I'm like, yo, you ain't got nothing to lose. We going for the highest high. And I'm like, and I set how much money that I wanted to make. This is what I need to make. And I immediately got that, right?
Yeah.
And so then I'm in the job and it's not a problem at all. I can totally do it and everything. And it's work, but you know, like I enjoy it, but there's no problem. And I was like, I wonder if I should set it for double that. Like seriously. And I started looking, I was like, there's tons of jobs that I qualify for that are even more. How much harder could it be? You know my job.
I know.
You know? And I'm like, it just hit me like I put a cap or a boundary on myself without even realizing it, you know? And then when it comes to work and the job that I have now, it's just like every other job to me. Does it feed my soul? Is what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter what it is, you know? I don't care if it's fast food, social work, working for the railroad, you know, podcast, what? Does it feed my soul? Like, even if you're working in a restaurant, am I helping other people?
Yes.
Like students, mothers, fathers, you know, people taking care of their parents, whatever. Am I helping them to lead their best life, you know, as a boss, whatever, you know, or even a fellow employee and helping other people? Is it a positive outlet? Is it somewhere where people treat the employees like human beings and care about them and try and help them with their schedule or whatever, you know?
Right.
Pay them fairly, those kind of things. Or is it where you're just a number and we'll step over you? Like, you can either get with it or get out, you know?
I find that question really, that is my determining factor, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to a job. Do I feel respected by the company that I'm working for? And do they value their employees? And if the answer is no, I usually find myself looking for something else because I have worked at jobs where I feel respected and it makes a world of difference. And, you know, we generally spend more time at work than we do with our family, our friends, anywhere else. You spend the majority of your time there. And you are the company you keep. Yeah. 100%. And so if you're in a negative environment, you know, where it's just go, 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 and no one appreciates you, that wears on your soul, on your heart, on your emotional well-being, you know, and it reflects in every other aspect of your life. Absolutely.
It really does. If you don't have that work-home balance, you know, then it just wears you out emotionally, physically. You'll start getting sick all the time. You feel like crap. Yep. You don't understand why all your relationships are falling apart and everything because the majority of your time is and with people are in a situation where you don't feel appreciated.
So nothing happens in a vacuum, right? Everything is connected to each other. So if you've got things going on at work, it will seep into your personal life, whether you realize it or not, because there is overlap. There's that time where you're transitioning from work to home, right? Well, and for certain people, it's longer than others. For me, it probably takes me about an hour to decompress from work.
Right.
Just realistically.
Yeah.
Like, I need time after work to, like, get home mindset going. And if you have a really high stress job, shit, it may be even longer than that. Who knows? Before you finally kind of recalibrate. And by then, you've wreaked havoc on home life. Here's
the thing, though. It's what type of person are you? Because, like, I am an adrenaline junkie. Like, I'm someone who loves to work in the ER. I love, like, social work, like, getting out in the people. Like, is there a problem? Let me fix it. Like, I like that. I like to know that something's going on and I fixed it, you know? And I like the never knowing what to expect. I like the go, 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 go. And that can happen in any job, you know? But I like that. I like the ups and downs, everything, and the helping people and doing that. I like the craziness. I like the not knowing what to expect. If it's just in an office, it's the same every day. That don't work for me. I can't do it, right? Here's the thing, though. You and I were talking the other day, just like day before yesterday, and we were both talking about how happy we are in our lives. Like, how happy we are in lives. And I do think that part of that has to do with our jobs, you know? Like, I love my job. I love the people I work with. Like, I feel supported by, you know, my bosses. Like, I enjoy it. And stuff goes crazy, girl.
Yeah.
We got told to suck somebody's dick the other day. Yes. For something that totally had nothing to do with anything, you know? That was just someone acting out and had nothing to do with the situation. And they are a good person. And we had to talk with them outside of that once they calmed down, everything else. So don't think it don't get crazy, you know? And that's not appropriate. However, they are a good person. They are a good worker. Everything else. We're all human. We all have a breakdown. And he obviously felt comfortable taking it out on me, which was not appropriate, but we talked about it.
We're here.
Right. So I'm just saying, things ain't perfect at work.
Right.
But overall, I enjoy going to work. You know, I love going to my job. Like, it feels good, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a big part of it. And they pay me well, you know? So I feel appreciated at work. I feel respected. Don't get me wrong, some folks be jumping out, but we just get them back in line.
Yeah.
But it has affected everything else. And then I'm like, in every other aspect of my life, I feel so good. But I think it has to do with going back to do I feel respected? Do I feel cared for? Do I feel like I make a difference? And does it feel good? And it does.
Yeah.
And so everything else has to match up with that. You know, what about you?
I've got one job that I can answer yes to all those questions.
Exactly. And that one you will do anything for, and your boss and
anything that they ask, like, I will jump through hoops because I know that I am valued and respected and like my worth is seen there, like, for sure. Like, definitely. So, and you know me, I'm a ride or die bitch. Like, like, once you get me in, I'm like, good luck getting me off. I'm fucking focused. Like, you know what I mean? But my other job, I could probably answer no.
It's the yin yang there.
Like, I could answer no to, like, 3 out of the 4 questions, probably. I know individually in my office, I can answer yes. You know what I mean? Because I do, like, by my direct superiors. I do feel acknowledged. I do feel respected. Like, I did get my horn tooted a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Which is nice. But as a whole, with that company, the answer is no. Yeah. I do not feel acknowledged. I do not feel like my presence means anything, like it's making some grand positive moment in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, like it's a no for me.
Well, and the way that they don't just treat you, they treat other people.
And it's so here's my thing, and maybe I don't know, I learn about people by how they treat others. So if you treat others like shit, in my mind, I'm like, well, how long is it before I get on the shit list?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, like, I learn by how you surround the people. Like, when I go on dates or when I meet people, even friends, like, how they treat, like, the wait staff or, like, the service industry people. If you're rude as hell to service industry people, I most likely will not be friends with you or go on a date with you ever again. Because to me, that is such a respect thing.
Oh, dude. Oh.
And, like, I don't quite understand, like, the power dynamics that people feel like they get into when someone is giving you a service. It says a lot to me about somebody.
Well, and to me, when people are like that, yes, it could be a situational thing, or it could be, you had a bad day, whatever. But when you think that's acceptable, to me, that always goes back to you don't feel like you have any power in your life, and so you're just taking it out on whoever comes up, to make yourself feel better. And I'm like, it's so not okay.
Exactly.
Right? What about relationship-wise? Where are we at?
Oh, relationship-wise, we realized...
Or dating, or, yeah.
That we may have gotten to ourselves into a situation that is similar to a previous one, still better. So we're obviously working in the right direction. But we needed to take a step back and be like, oh, nope, we fall into the same trap. Good to know. We're still working on some things.
Yeah. Growth, though.
Growth.
You recognized it so much faster.
Like,
so much faster.
Like a week.
Yes.
Versus how long? Like,
right?
6-7 months? Like,
yes. But not only do you recognize it faster, it truly is better than the other situation.
100%.
It's 100% moving in the better direction that you want to go to.
Yeah.
But when you step back and ask yourself your questions, it was a no.
No, it was a no.
Yeah. And so, all right. Every no is closer to that yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And anything you want in life. Right?
So, I think we should leave it here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Put a pin in it?
Put a pin in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we did do a teaser last week when you were talking about Gym Daddy. About what happened with that. We can end with that.
About my sugar daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that crashed and burned. Because what did he say? Oh, girl. He was like, I buy my employees, like, gift cards so they can go out and do fun things. I'm like, oh, that's really nice and considerate of you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, yeah, can I use your bank account to buy these gift cards because I can't use mine right. I was like, what happened to last week when you were buying your employees all these gift cards? And he's like, oh, well, I can't quite use the work account right now. I was like, okay, bye. Block.
So fishing was a thing for you and me this summer, apparently. Yes.
Catfishing. But I'm like, I already knew it was like bullshit anyway, but I was like, I want to see how far this can go.
Oh my goodness. 60 iPhones.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Nope, you're not the only one.
Oh, Lord, yes. Yeah. I would love to get a man to talk about his catfishing stories.
God, I'm sure
because I know it happens to them. Yeah.
It probably happens to them more than it happens to us. Who knows?
Right? I'm like, once or twice for us, we learn quick. I'm like, no. That's a no, sir.
It's a no for me.
Yes.
Anywho.
Yes. So go out there and live your best life.
And find your personal questions, your check-in questions of, is this a yes or a no for me? Yeah. And
I say it comes down to, does it feel good or not? Is it feeding your soul?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Not that you're stupid.
No. But that's from a movie, isn't it?
How about keep it simple, sweetie?
Okay, fine.
Or, spectacular.
Nice whatever. Oh my gosh, my tummy's upset.
Oh, okay. Well, we love you.
Love you.
You are amazing and wonderful. Sparkle, shine, live your best life.
Go off, queen.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below.
See you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.